Ladies and gentlemen, how do?
As the Mango Mussolini embarks on yet another round of madness, with tariffs being handed out like Smarties again. EU got a 30% tariff and Brazil got hammered with 50%, and Brazil's tariff is not for any misconceived trade deficit, something this chucklehead clearly does not understand. But no, Brazil is getting whacked because vengeful jelly brain Trump is unhappy with how Brazil's judicial system is handling his chum Bolsonaro's trial. How does that have anything to do with any America First agenda?
President Trump is using the economy as a political weapon. He's been saying that tariffs are about leveling the playing field, that there's a trade imbalance, and that the United States is being ripped off by other countries. In the case of Brazil, that is not true. President Trump yet is imposing a 50% tariff on the country. The reason, you ask? A court case against former President Jair Bolsonaro, a case which he says is a witch hunt in this letter and should end immediately. So this is not about business, but about his buddy. The two have been friends since Trump's first term.
Probably because of the relationship that we have, Brazil and the United States have never been closer.
Temos muito a conversar.
And they've been building on that relationship ever since. In 2022, Trump supported Bolsonaro's bid for re-election.
So I strongly endorse President Bolsonaro. He will be your leader for hopefully a long time.
And even though he lost to current President Lula da Silva, Bolsonaro came out for Trump ahead of the 2024 election in the US, praising their exceptional relationship when he appeared at a CPAC convention.
President Bolsonaro, a great honor.
Now back at the White House, Trump using the weight of the office to help his buddy out. But why is Bolsonaro on trial?
They're getting into the Capitol tonight.
Well, remember when Trump's supporters stormed the Capitol? Brazil had its own version on January the 8th, 2023. Pro-Bolsonaro protesters broke into Congress and the presidential palace. I was there in the aftermath, and I personally saw the damage the rioters had done, ransacking government buildings, destroying artifacts, including art pieces, even setting some buildings on fire. Prosecutors say they found a connection between the riots and Brazil's former president. And earlier this year, they charged Bolsonaro, along with 33 other people, in connection with an alleged plot to overthrow the government. Those accused deny the charges.
The EU is weighing up its options regarding the recent 30% tariff, and have said while this tariff is in place that it will mean that the EU will find it impossible to trade with US. Brazil have said that it will reciprocate with 50% tariffs and that Trump should stay out of their affairs.
For his part, the Brazilian leader says his country has a right to reciprocate the tariffs and has refused to get involved in Bolsonaro's court case, telling Trump to do the same.
This country has laws, this country has rules, and this country has an owner, and that's the Brazilian people. So save your judgments for your own life and keep them out of ours.
Meanwhile, as Diaper Donis soils himself and starts throwing out the contents of his diaper at everyone, thousands of American jobs are disappearing from right under his nose just across the border to Canada, and those jobs will not be returning.
The promise was simple: put America first and American workers would thrive. It was a message that resonated across the country, especially in towns that had seen better days. The goal was to bring American jobs back home, to revive towns built on manufacturing and restore pride in U.S. industry. Hopes were high that factories would roar back to life. But the reality has been more complicated. Tariffs, designed to protect U.S. industries from foreign competition, have instead pushed companies to look north to Canada, where the business climate is suddenly more attractive and stable. Steep 50% tariffs on steel and aluminum have made it too expensive to manufacture in the U.S., forcing companies to rethink their operations and seek alternatives. In just 18 months, $7.2 billion in manufacturing capital has left the country. Canadian provinces are offering incentives and energy prices are lower, making relocation even more appealing for manufacturers. The result? Canada is now reaping the benefits of policies meant to help America, welcoming our jobs and investments with open arms, and building a stronger manufacturing sector of their own in the process. Meanwhile, communities here are left wondering what went wrong with the promise to bring jobs back, as they face empty factories and uncertain futures for their families. For generations, iconic brands like Coca-Cola, Ford, GM, and Campbell Soup have been symbols of American industry and ingenuity. But now, these household names are shifting major operations to Canada, marking a dramatic change in the manufacturing landscape and raising questions about the future of American-made products. GM and Ford are investing billions of dollars in Canadian electric vehicle plants, fueling a surge in job creation north of the border. Meanwhile, American workers are facing layoffs and uncertainty as U.S. factories sit idle or close their doors, leaving entire communities in limbo. Campbell Soup, after years of frustrating permit delays and regulatory hurdles in Ohio, decided to move its operations to Ontario, where the process was faster and incentives were more attractive and competitive for business. Coca-Cola now imports millions of cans from Canada every year, saving an estimated $50 million annually thanks to cheaper aluminum, lower energy costs, and a more business-friendly environment that encourages growth. Even Tesla, a leader in innovation, is building new battery and automation facilities in Canada, drawn by generous government incentives and a skilled workforce ready to support the next generation of technology and manufacturing. This isn't just about moving factories overseas, it's about relocating research, innovation, and the very future of entire industries. Canada is quickly becoming a hub for advanced manufacturing and technological development, attracting talent from across the continent. The message is clear: the cost of doing business in America has become too high, and Canada is seizing the opportunity to attract both jobs and investment from major global players. As a result, American jobs, investments, and even dreams are heading north, reshaping the future of North American industry and redefining what it means to be a manufacturing powerhouse. The U.S. is raising barriers with tariffs and slow regulations, making it increasingly difficult for businesses to operate efficiently or expand. Companies face a maze of red tape, lengthy approval processes, and unpredictable policy shifts that create uncertainty for investors and manufacturers alike. These obstacles are causing many to reconsider where they put down roots, as the business environment becomes more challenging and less predictable with each passing year. Meanwhile, just across the border, Canada is rolling out the red carpet for industry. The Canadian government is actively courting manufacturers and innovators, offering a stable and welcoming environment that encourages growth and investment. Their approach is designed to attract new businesses and foster long-term partnerships. Doubling tariffs on steel and aluminum has made American products more expensive to make and sell. These higher costs ripple through the supply chain, impacting everything from construction to consumer goods, and making U.S. companies less competitive on the global stage. The effects are felt by workers, businesses, and consumers alike. In contrast, Canada's Fast-Track National Interest Projects Act slashes permitting times to as little as 90 days, compared to years in the U.S. This streamlined process means businesses can break ground and start production much sooner, saving both time and money, and allowing them to plan with greater confidence. For example, Ford faced a grueling 26-month review in the US, a delay that can cost millions. In Canada, similar projects move forward at lightning speed, allowing companies to seize opportunities and respond to market demands quickly, without being held back by endless bureaucracy. Canada is offering over $52 billion in incentives for battery and EV sectors, supporting not just factories but entire supply chains. These incentives attract global players, foster innovation, and help build a robust, future-ready industrial base that can compete internationally. They're building an ecosystem from mining raw materials to final assembly, making Canada the go-to destination for future industries like electric vehicles, batteries, and clean technology. This integrated approach sets Canada apart from its competitors. While U.S. policy is building walls, both literal and figurative, Canada is building bridges, forging partnerships, and opening doors for new business. The difference is clear, and Canada is winning the race for tomorrow's industries by embracing openness and collaboration. Companies want speed, certainty, and support, and right now, Canada delivers on all fronts. Business leaders are taking notice, shifting their investments and operations northward to take advantage of these benefits and the promise of a brighter future. The result? A dramatic shift in where the future is being built, as Canada emerges as the new powerhouse for innovation, manufacturing, and economic growth, setting the stage for decades of prosperity and leadership. In manufacturing, energy costs are everything, and Canada has a huge edge. Quebec offers industrial power as low as 5.7 cents per kilowatt hour. Aluminum smelters pay just 3.68 cents. In Detroit, rates are double or triple that. For big companies, this means tens of millions in savings. Coca-Cola alone saves $50 million a year by sourcing cans from Canada. Canada's clean, stable hydropower is a magnet for companies focused on green supply chains like Tesla and Ford. Lower costs and a smaller carbon footprint make Canada irresistible. The U.S. grid can't compete on price or sustainability. Cheap, clean energy is tipping the scales north. For thousands of American families, this isn't just economics, it's personal. 25,000 U.S. manufacturing jobs are at risk as companies relocate.
Maggia Orange Boy sure ain't bringing in those well-paid American jobs as he promised, and just like his businesses, 7 of which went bankrupt, along with 3 casinos, Trump has the Midas touch in reverse with everything he touches, including America, turning to shite. Massive shout out to the lads over on ALLShorts AI for making my words come to life. Say hello to them. Well folks, if you enjoyed this video, then not only are you lovely people, but you also have great taste, and you should also subscribe to the Two Davies for news and politics from a very Scottish perspective, and that rantastic Mr. McGuinness. You should also subscribe to Mr. Daily Blasé's channel for merriment, mischief, and the Friday frolics. Cue growling cat.